Don't be a buzzkill.
They trying to pull me out the higher road, but I just put my hands up with my eyes closed.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Real Football Picks Week 10. As always, I'm Vinny, and this is my main man, Shane. First things first, before we get into a recap and last week's stuff, we're doing a t-shirt giveaway this week. Whoever could say how many yards passing Ben Roethlisberger will have this week or comes closest to it will win a Real Football Picks t-shirt. One guess per person. For example, Shane, how many yards do you think Ben Roethlisberger is going to throw for this week?
323 yards.
Comment that below, whatever you think he's going to throw for this week against Dallas, and you'll win a Real Football Picks t-shirt. And now let's get into last week's recap.
Well, normally we do a shot at this time, but I don't really want to do a shot this week.
Come on, really?
No, I'm messing with you. Come on.
All right.
Let's do this.
Salute.
Woo!
Salute.
Salute.
Man, Josh, what is this? A lemon drop?
Yep.
Like you. Last week I went 6-5-1 against the spread. Shane went 6-5-1 against the spread. Mr. Highlight, who is no longer with us. He's with us, but he's not with us right now. He had a terrible week. 4-7, terrible picks. Was very confident. Very confident.
Le who? The her.
Now who's the loser, Ricky boy? Who's the loser now?
Mr. Highlight.
Mr. Highlight. Terrible selections. What am I supposed to do?
Sponsor.
Okay, and this week's sponsor is Home Funding Corporation. You can reach, my man Shane's an ambassador for Home Funding Corporation.
Yes, I
You
am.
can reach him at 702-406-6608. Give him a call. They got good things coming up, right?
Great products.
with,
First-time home buyer options for
Dow went
granting
up, right?
down
So-
payments. Down went up with the information about Trump becoming the new president. Congratulations, Mr. Trump, by the way.
Could you,
The uncertainty in the market, though, creates issues where rates are probably going to go up. So if you do want to refinance, get some cash out, do whatever you have to do it now.
Shane will do his best for you. He'll take care of you. You mentioned the show. He'll give you like an extra,
I'll give you a free appraisal,
Free appraisal.
with mentioning the show.
mention the show.
And now, the Spatula Pick of the Week.
Doing our spatula pick of the week.
Now it's that time for the Spatula Pick of the Week. Last week's Spatula Pick of the Week, the San Francisco 49ers went down like a sack of potatoes. Like you, a sack of potatoes, my friend. And this week's Spatula Pick of the Week is...
Why does he do this? My guy. I don't know why he does it. With 89% of the betting public on the Atlanta Falcons, according to pregame.com, our spatula pick of the week is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Fly.
Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Fight, fight, fight!
Now we're going to go over a couple games against the spread, and then the rest of the picks will be on the screen on the next segment. Then we'll give you our pick of the week. First game we're going to go over is we're going to go over Saints-Broncos. Broncos are plus 2.5 in this game, and the lines we're using, this is the Hilton contest lines on Wednesday. I like the Broncos in this game. I see the Saints as, they beat a bad team last week. Broncos had a really bad loss. They got embarrassed on national TV. Broncos pride themselves in run defense. Raiders ran all over them. Saints ran it up against a bad defense, bad San Francisco team. Game was a lot closer than the score indicated. Saints were on a streak a couple, before the last 19 games. They were 18-3 against the spread at home. Since then, their last 19 games, they're 8-11-1 against the spread. I like the Broncos as a road underdog in this game. Shane?
I agree. I'm going with the Denver Broncos pretty much for exactly what you said. The embarrassment especially, I take that X factor into account.
Do you like getting embarrassed?
Negative.
Never?
Negative.
All right. Next, we are going to go over the Eagles-Falcons game. Falcons are coming in flying high. They just smashed up on Tampa Bay, who we all know how good Tampa Bay is at home. I don't think they've won a game at home this year. And I think Tampa Bay is 3-17 in their last 20 home games, which is not good. Falcons have had a pretty easy schedule. Eagles had a game last week where they looked like they had a little hangover against the Giants. Did I say the line in this game at all? Eagles are
Or pick-
pick 'em.
they
Pick 'em. I like the Eagles. I see them, what happened to them against the Giants. They came in with a hangover from that Dallas the week before overtime. They were down 14-0, and then they were inside the 30-yard line for like 9 or 10 times. And I had the Giants last week, very, very fortunate win. But this week I like the Eagles, and I think the Eagles are going to shut down Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta's been averaging about 29, 30 points. I don't think they're going to get close to that. I see them scoring 17. I'm going to say the Eagles are going to win this game about 31-17. Shane?
Wow, that's a very good prediction. I'm going with you as well as on this one. I like the Eagles. I feel the same way. I think this is going to be a good bounce back game for the Eagles. And historically, Falcons in Philly do not do well. So I'm going to ride that
What
trend.
do you mean historically Falcons or Philly do not?
I don't know the exact stat, but
I don't
the
know what that
Falcons,
means.
they don't win in Philly.
Oh, okay. So that's just an old trend.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Okay.
an older one, but let's see if it holds true.
Whatever. Next, we are going to do. We got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Pittsburgh. Steelers are minus 2.5 in this game. I really like the Steelers a lot this week. Dallas has been playing great. They're running the ball on everybody. A lot of time possession. It doesn't really show how poor their defense is. When you hold time of possession, you can run the ball. Your defense can be kind of crappy. That's exactly what Dallas is doing right now. Pittsburgh got embarrassed last week against Baltimore. They came out like crap. Ben Roethlisberger first came back from injury. Dallas is playing good football. They smashed up on Cleveland, and we all know how good Cleveland is after how they looked yesterday, and they lose 28-7 in the game. They're winning 7-6 at halftime. So my pick is going to be Pittsburgh in this game.
I'm going with the Steelers as well. I know.
Don't
We're
do it.
on fire every
They're
time.
doing good now.
So anyway, I'm going with Pittsburgh. Cowboys are doing really well. I think that's like a little try to suck me in like the fish hook.
They call that a trap game?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
2.5. I just feel like that's a trap. I feel like Pittsburgh didn't play last week until the fourth quarter. Big Ben got a couple crap touchdowns. I think I like the Steelers in the game.
Okay, so far we agree on all the games we're talking
crazy.
about. That's not crazy. You're learning. You're learning. Next game we're going to go over is the Seahawks at Patriots. Patriots are minus 7.5 in this game off the bye. Belichick's great off the bye. I think he's 11-2 off the bye in his last 13. Usually you don't like teams traveling from west to east, but in this game I like Seattle plus 7.5. And I looked at something. I looked up Russell Wilson, his record. Over the last 26 games, they have covered 20 of 20. They're 20-6 as an underdog, Seattle. And since Russell Wilson has been quarterback, they've only lost by more than 7.5 points twice in his whole tenure. I don't know how many games that is, which is a pretty cool stat.
Yeah, that
I
is.
think this is a big revenge game from the Super Bowl. I still think both, they're thinking about what happened. I think Patriots are thinking about what happened. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game than people think. I'm going to say somewhere around 38 to 35, somewhere there. Either team can win, but I'm taking 7.5 points. I like Seattle. Shane.
I'm going with you. I agree with that. Today's an easy show for me, but I agree with you. I took Seattle. I like the 7.5. Patriots coming off the bye. I think everyone are going to pound them, and I think they're going to lose.
Do you think that's scary that me and you are on the same games and it came so easy? Do you think there's something wrong with that, or you just think you got a good feel on this week's games?
I think I got a good feel on this week's games.
Do you feel this? No. Now we're going to do our pick of the week. Shane, what's your pick of the week this week?
Pick of the week is the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, really? Why?
I'm going with the Vikings at a bounce back week. I know Norman might be controlling Diggs, but they've got other weapons. Bradford's going to come through. They've got to have an answer for the last couple weeks, and I think they'll do it, especially against the Redskins.
Do you feel biased because you have Diggs on all your fantasy football teams?
I'm going to sit him in favor of Hopkins and Robinson.
Okay, so you don't feel biased. You just really like them this week.
Correct.
Okay. My pick of the week is the game we talked about earlier, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just feel it's a great spot for them. Going to be home. They got embarrassed last week. They did nothing offensively. Dallas is whooping it up on bad teams. This is a back-to-back road game for Dallas. They played at Cleveland last week. They're playing at Pittsburgh this week. This is where Pittsburgh's going to start making their move. Over the last 10 years with Big Ben, Pittsburgh has won at least 6 games in 7 seasons over the second half of the season. I feel that Pittsburgh's streak starts now.
Starts getting chilly.
With the AFC being a weak conference, in my opinion, and New England looking like the only real good team, I think Pittsburgh's the team that's going to give them a run for their money. I'm taking Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's going to smash them too. So you could do what you got to do with that game. Pittsburgh Steelers, your play of the week. And now it's that time for the Fantasy Football Minute. This week's Fantasy Football Minute is sponsored by Nameco. Where you go, they go.
Nameco.
All right. And last week's Fantasy Football, guys, let's see how we did here. I had Derek Carr as a bust. He was a bust. Shane had
ODB as a bust.
He was not a bust.
He wasn't.
My sleeper was
Baldwin.
Baldwin. He was kind of crappy, so I said that's a loser pick. And Shane, who was your sleeper? Oh, Diggs.
Diggs, he did well.
Real good. Okay, now we're going to go on to this week. Shane, who's your sleeper this week?
Sleeper this week is going to be Jeremy Hill, running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe he's going to have about 22 carries, maybe 20, with about 88 to 95 yards rushing, with 2 tutties.
Not one, but 2.
Two touchdowns.
That's a very optimistic assessment. Very aggressive.
Very aggressive. A new day. And you won't be pushed around.
Okay, my sleeper this week is a wide receiver on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I've been hearing a little buzz about him, but not that much. Eli Rogers. I don't think Haywood Bay or Wheaton are going to play this week, which means Coates is going to be playing with Brown. And I like Eli Rogers to get the third man on Dallas, and Dallas has some secondary problems. I think Eli Rogers is going to get you a touchdown this week and 100 yards. I don't know how many catches. Do what you got to do with Eli. You get him cheap in those other sites, FanDuel and DraftKings. Okay, who's your bust of the week, Shane?
Bust of the week this week is going to be Todd Gurley of the LA Rams.
Todd Gurley, LA Rams, buster. So you're saying he's a bust around?
Yeah, he's going to get about 23 carries and 68 yards rushing.
All right, no touchdowns, obviously.
Zero.
Okay, playing the Jets defense, good run defense.
Correct.
My bust is also going to be in a Pittsburgh game. It's going to be running back Ezekiel Elliott. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to give you, I'm not saying he's going to do terrible, but you're not going to get that 20-point performance or higher that you've been getting out of him. I'm predicting in the lower teens from him, and I'm hoping he has a real crap game. So, because I know I'm playing against him this week in fantasy, and I want him to go down and down hard. And that's your Fantasy Football Minute. And that's going to wrap it up for Week 10 of Real Football Picks. Remember to give Shane a call for your mortgage needs. Shane's going to do a good job for you, free appraisal. Also, remember we're doing the free T-shirt giveaway. Guess how many yards passing Ben Roethlisberger has? Closest to his total passing yards will win a free T-shirt. Please comment on that below. And as always, for Shane, this is Vinny saying thanks for coming.
Hasta lasagna, don't get any on ya.
Thanks for coming to Week 10.